Rabbi Nachman famously said, don't go to doctors, but if you go to a doctor, go to the best doctor. So in this generation, the best doctors are obviously doctors that have an MD and also practice natural medicine, that they do at the same time. It's called integrated medicine or functional medicine. And this movement is for sure will sweep the world despite the crazy opposition from the standard medical department. I was just at the hospital last night trying to help somebody, and the hospital, of course, in general, doesn't like natural medicine people to get involved, and it's complicated, and I understand where they're coming from. Something like this can go wrong, but at the same time, if you have any medical situation that's serious yourself, I plead with you to involve the highest level functional integrated medicine, someone that has an MD from a serious institution who also practices natural medicine. But Rabbi Nachman was encouraged people to look to themselves for the healing, to try to go beyond dependency on a doctor. He said, don't even go to the doctor. If you have a condition, just try to heal it yourself, basically. And in Sefer Midot, he said that there's an herb. Every herb has a healing power, but to get the formulations properly, to get the right mix of the herb, the right dosage, to pick the herbs at the right time, he says it's very difficult. I have a connection with herbal medicine my whole life. I lived with a great herbal doctor in Berkeley years ago, and I've been connected to an incredible herbal doctor on the East Coast in America for years and years. And Paul Pitchford, who I studied with, was a high-level herbalist, and it's true. You can probably or definitely cure anything with herbs, but it's a huge science, right? And like one of my friends I went to school with for natural medicine said, when you have a problem, go to an herbalist who has 50 years of experience, right? 50. So Rabbi Nachman says to get the dosage and the mix, the compounding of the herbs just right is extremely difficult, and for most people not realistic. Although in our generation it might be more realistic, because this whole thing is coming into vogue more, right? A lot. There's a company in Tel Aviv that they make formulas specifically for each patient, and they send it all over the world. And this is what they've always done in Chinese medicine. When you go to a Chinese herbalist, they take your pulse and they read your organ system, and they give a mix of herbs just for you. They don't just take some bottle off the wall. They the real ones, they'll mix it from the raw herbs. I don't know if you've ever been into a real Chinese herbal pharmacy. There'll be a wall with hundreds or thousands of herbs, and they'll pull from all the drawers and mix your formula just for yourself. It's incredible. It is incredible system, and the way we study Torah around the clock, and there's a whole huge world of it. They study Chinese herbal medicine around the clock, and it's a whole huge world of it. Don't go to doctors unless you're going to go to the best doctor. So in this generation, how could the best doctor possibly be somebody? Okay, it's complicated, because say you have a functional doctor who got an MD, say at Harvard or Duke, and they also got some degrees in natural medicine. Are they going to be as good as a guy who's just practiced Chinese herbal medicine for 50 years straight? Are they going to be as good at herbs? No. So it's not simple. Who's the best? Really, in any real case, we want both. We want a functional medical doctor, an MD who knows natural medicine, and we want him to be allied with a senior natural medicine practitioner, someone who's done, say, just herbal medicine for 50 years and they know everything about it, right? So of course you're saying, oh my gosh, it sounds like a lot of money. Yeah, it is a lot of money, a preventative amount of money for most people. Hence why with any health operation we want to do everything we can ourselves, do everything we can from the inside, which is endless. And the Breslov Derech is to whatever health problem we're having, or really whatever problem we're having, we try to, through our, instead of saying Hisbodedus, who the heck in the West knows what Hisbodedus is? I think we should say Breslov talking meditation, Breslov speaking meditation. This is what all the word they use in Breslov is Hisbodedus, but for the West, I don't see why we're holding on to this word. So in the Breslov speaking meditation, when we stand alone and we talk to God, we're trying to get at the roots of all our problems, right? I read a nice article by Rabbi Shalom Arush, whose book you should read and everyone should know about, where he said he had this terrible toothache, and he would go out to the field and he'd like pray from the bottom of his heart about everything in his life until the toothache went away. And you might say, if you're a cynic, heretic type, you might say, oh, that's nonsense. I've been connected to a lot of things like this. I've seen things like this in my own life with thousands of people I've worked with over the years for their health. He would pray in and somehow tap into the root of what was making the problem in the first place, right? People have such a false view of reality that there's your physical reality and then there's your spiritual reality and they're separate. No, absolutely false. Although it's a little bit complicated, right? Say when someone dies, all right, their physical's gone, but they're still, part of them is still continuing, right? So it's not simple. But in general, the essence of holistic medicine is to treat conditions knowing that every single part of ourselves is overlapping. The physical is producing the emotional is producing the physical is producing the mental is producing the psychic. It's all one matrix. Do not go to doctors unless you go to the best doctor. So, like a little aside here, Rabbi Elyashiv, the top Jewish lawmaker of the generation who's passed away recently, or widely recognized as the top lawmaker, he said that if you're a man and you have health problems, you should just go to a man. If you're a woman and you have health problems, you should just go to a woman, except if the best doctor is a man, then the woman should go to the man. If the best doctor is a woman, then the man should go to the woman. So that's a little thing here, but not a small thing. One reason I left behind the American holistic system was there's the American holistic scene was there's so much like hanky panky in the whole world of medicine, holistic health and all that, where people getting in over their heads, working with practitioners of the opposite sex and getting involved in scandals and so much stuyot. In my work, I work just with men. For women, I do referrals. And but for older women, I'll work with them like over 60, over 70. The question's, how young is too young? My normal policy is over 65, but it's not written in stone. Don't see doctors unless you see the best doctors. So in a medical case, people have a GP, right? So for your medical case, your GP should definitely, without any question, be an integrative functional doctor. Now that person is probably going to say to you, if you have a serious case, they're probably going to say to you, listen, I've been doing herbs for 10 years. I've been practicing herbal medicine for 10 years, but I know a Chinese medical master in New York City has been practicing Chinese herbs for 50 years. And so I'm going to recommend that you also see him, right? So instead of the king of your case being the conventional doctors that say, no, we don't want you to do that, the king of your case can be a functional integrative doctor. This is the wave of the future. Mark Hyman's at the Cleveland Clinic, I think now, and they're testing all his work and trying to prove that it's legit. You can read about his stuff below. I'll put it there. Netter. So I'm eagerly working towards a day where I don't take any cases unless a functional integrative doctor is the GP, right? It's so absolutely illogical, irrational, inefficient to have it any other way, right? Now, if we depend too much on doctors at all, we lose the drive to do our self-healing, right? The Saba Nanach guy, they would say he was so sick he'd be spitting up blood, and they say, Saba, you should really go to a doctor. Like his students that were very against doctors, they'd say, shouldn't you really go to a doctor? And he'd say, no, I'm gonna work it out myself. I think he lived to like 100 or something. Do I remember that right? So if you bring me in on your case and you don't have a functional integrative doctor on the top, I can nearly guarantee you I'm going to drive you crazy realizing that that's what makes sense, right? It's all about power. It's like is the we religious Jews in general, I think I can say all of us, we want the Sanhedrin reestablished, and for that body to govern the world, basically. Do I have this right? Maybe I don't understand my halachas and Torah enough, but my understanding is that would be, or connected to the governing body of the world. Some people want to reestablish a king, that, whatever, it's not simple, but we know that in the Bnei Noach, the Sheva Bnei Noach, the laws of Torah that apply to non-Jews, that there's an idea that we're right now actively helping every country in the world accept those laws and establish a court system within their country that helps people to follow those laws, right? As you can see, we haven't gotten very far because you probably have never heard of the idea up until now. So before I came into Torah, I thought, this sounds crazy, like we're going to have the Jews ruling the world or something. It's not. If you haven't studied, it's not like that. It's a lot deeper story than that, which I can't give over well. But with everything I mentioned here, I know who can give it over well, that you can talk to if you're really interested. Don't go to doctors unless you have the best doctors. So to just try to skip the doctor route altogether, that's a great thing. To try to build your health to the highest level on your own, to try to seek the spiritual, emotional source of all your physical problems through talking, meditation. I was working with one of my rabbis, and he loved this material, and he said he would go to the woods and he'd feel any pain anywhere in his body, and he'd scream from that place, releasing directly the pain from that place, right? Very direct. Or you have to get money and get the big doctor on top of a case and get a hold of them and wait in line. It's such a drag, right? To go direct is the idea. Don't deject. Go direct.